pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That flag's gotta be changed.
Where did our other flag go? Oh,
We dug it out the other day.
there we go.
Oh, for the.
And
that looks like 50
years old.
Yeah, no, that one needs to be put back in that.
Go.
Yeah, really.
All right, welcome. We're gonna start off with a public hearing. Anyone make a motion to open public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Public hearing is open. So a public hearing. Discuss the Delano Seafood Shack liquor license application. Any public comments on that?
And it's for the sale of malt liquor and wine only, correct?
It should be with spirits too.
Only one was circled.
No, we do have spirit,
Do we have spirit? Okay.
only if we have function.
Yep.
This is a new license.
Yeah.
Clerk will go with the application, everything looks good.
You've been with it as well.
Board's pleasure.
There's no comment, so close the public hearing. Make a motion.
Motion to close the hearing. Seconded. Any discussion? If not, the hearing is closed. Pleasure of the board.
All
All in favor?
right, now I'll make a motion to approve the liquor license for Delano Seafood Shack. Second.
All in favor? With Bob. Bob,
Still there.
good to go?
Thank you.
Good to say. Mark.
Justin will be over to see you.
Yep, thank you.
We have no presentations. Adjustments to the agenda. I'd like to move up 10.1 of new business. Before citizens comment, we're moving over up to the front. We can sit around all afternoon for us. And I do have another adjustment. Like to move the adjournment, before the adjournment, number 13, we have an executive session for one MRSA 4056C concerning economic development.
Operating. You can hold up to 600 people.
On those, anyone got any other adjustments?
Yeah, I guess there's
That
two
production of it.
committee applications, one's for the Sylvania Committee, Susan Kowalski, and one for the Origins Committee, Jamie Beal.
To move those to 10.6,
Sure.
in the application 10.6. Any others?
Retrofitting
Good, Bob?
380.
All set. Thank you, Abden.
Spending $2 billion.
Yep, no problem.
Motion to approve those changes,
Make that motion. Second.
all in favor? Now we'll move 10.1 up to the front, concerning the duck puddle culvert discussion with the select board of the town of Noblesboro.
I just
we just decided we wanted to meet with you, because that culvert down there is in bad shape. I mean, it's a combination of Noblesboro and Waldeboro. Fine, and we don't have the money to fix it. You guys don't have the money to fix it, that we're looking at maybe a year or two down the road, if there's some grants that come up, that maybe we could get a grant or something to put a new culvert in there or something. And we just wanted to touch base with you guys to see what you thought and see if there's anything that we want to approach in another year or so, if there's some grants that come out.
Any discussion with Bremen as well?
They don't own next to
Could
it.
they use the road though? I don't.
They don't own it.
We don't either.
You own up to the Calvert, we own up to the Calvert the other way.
Input, Johnny?
I can remember back when it was wooden bridge, I worked on that. I did remember that.
I was gonna say, I thought it was
being a wooden bridge.
Yeah. Um,
Now there's holes.
yeah, no, half of the culvert in Waldeboro and the other half's in Noblesboro. So. We tried years ago. Kyle done some FEMA work. We tried to get Noblesboro jump on it. Didn't happen, it's getting worse. The water's built up. The situation,
Ready to leave at 5 to 6?
it's gonna cost us money because the Army Corps engineer helped put that in there. So we have to go by all their rules, regulations.
They put it in originally.
They had money that they applied to it. When Reed done it, so we have to go by their standards and probably their permits.
That's what we're trying to get around.
Well, you could get away with just building the elevation and not messing with the culvert, but then the state inspects that culvert every 2 years. They consider it a bridge because it's so big. And they say it's at its useful life. They said that last 2 times. So something that we should be willing to work. But I think it's gonna be more than 200,000, just in some of the culverts that we've looked at for our projects. Which would be a similar culvert, the culvert itself would cost that much. Yeah, you're figuring, raising the elevation up, 36, 40 inches, you're talking, another 100,000. So I do think it's something we're gonna have to do because it does affect our residents.
Mhm.
But it should be planned out and. Max, look into it like he has all our other ones and that's made a big difference. We do have different stuff to offer in kind. When we get the grant, whether it be material or max assistance or whatever, so sometime the grants, they, pay so much back, but they'll do in kind.
Are we talking about a culvert like the same design as Elm Street?
Yes. Yes, we have to there because they can't go deep. So,
So even if you wanted that, like we found out, you're gonna have to order that well ahead of time,
yes.
and it would be concrete.
Be a box culvert.
Box culvert. And usually, what we've heard from the engineers, at least a year in advance. They have to order.
Yeah, we've been working on one. Some cotton string, and we had go through the whole thing, and you get a permit and you get some grant money, but it don't cover all of it and stuff. And that's why we're doing that one, and we said we need to jump on this one to see if another year or two, if you guys and our road commissioner Matt Banner see if any grants that come out or any free money.
Yep.
None of it's free, but, but,
I think the biggest thing was just trying to get to at least step one here,
yeah.
because it just keeps getting talked about and nothing gets done on either side.
Oh, yeah.
So
So that's why we just want income.
Well,
we-
no, we tried.
Yeah.
Kyle had talked to FEMA. And it would have been done by now, but. It went on deaf ears. We did try. In the 14, 15 years, everything was set up. We had everything set out. And I think the cost would have been 5% at the time. Nobody wanted to jump on.
Okay.
I think what we originally were looking at was going into like an interlocal agreement with you to explore this and see if we can work something out. I think if we applied for grants, all the towns together, it increases the odds of getting them.
It's true.
And beyond that, because we're in the middle of one project now that's gonna start the 1st of August, that we're committed for this year, but we have time now to have, if we could come up with some seed money for some engineering, maybe to come up with, this is the potential cost or a solution to what you need.
Yeah.
So we can plan on it, say we can do what we can, and then apply for grants
Yeah.
and plan it, but do it in a way where we're making progress instead of just keep putting it on the shelf, which we've been doing for the last 25 years.
That's still covered in there now?
what's left of it.
Yeah.
Max. Oh, max 1 million, we're
Yeah.
at 2 million. Are there planning grants is anything coming up?
Planning grants coming up. Lincoln County will probably have their usual $2,500 ask grants in maybe September. What's a shame is that what MDOT just closed out on was the adaptation fund grant, which we applied for to do a study for Old Augusta Road. This would have been an ideal time to do it, but I think we were still kind of unsure where we were at.
Right.
So that's unfortunately a big one we just missed. Nothing else comes to mind, but I'm sure I can poke around and see what I can find.
It doesn't mean that FEMA would be out of the question this
Right.
time.
It does.
No, we just want this on the board and so that Julie can, our guys, our office can see something comes up and let's keep in contact, to see what we can do down the road. I mean, we're not gonna go do it today.
And that's something that Max could be working on.
Aren't I always?
You're.
You got a good guy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We have a really good guy.
I was gonna say.
Abden?
So we missed that opportunity for the engineers, $75,000 engineer study.
Yeah.
We missed that opportunity.
Yeah, we knew
Do they-
that was out there, but, and we couldn't,
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just curious, when does that potentially come back? Yeah.
I mean, they did one earlier this year in January, the second one now, so it's a 5-month difference. They might try and squeeze one more in by the end of the year.
And that's what we should go start with. And then go after grant money to potentially fix that section of road.
Well, it depends how ambitious we want to be. If we want to try and get the engineering study so that we're ready by the next
Ready
time the
for it.
culvert grant's ready.
That's
We'd
that's
have
why I'm
to-
asking.
Yeah, we'd have to start putting up some seed money now, but. I
Who's
don't-
your engineer in Noblesboro?
who's our engineer? We don't really have one. I mean, we're working with a company to do this other one down there, but we don't have anyone to work directly with engineering wise.
We're using Collinwood Engineering right now out of Richmond and Brunswick.
Yeah.
They seem to be doing a good job. But the thing is, we make an agreement to move forward with this and hopefully resolve it in a reasonable time. Because it keeps putting on the shelf, like I say. So when these grants come up, we're ready, we can
Yeah.
say, hey.
I mean, right now you go down and it doesn't ride over there too bad, just bumps and stuff, but this spring it was horrible.
Well, we also get issue with like our snowplow guy, you know,
Yeah.
we get some pushback from him as well, because the road's just in rough shape, and the water's going, everything's. You know, easy, we talk about ask at your own risk or closing it seasonal type thing, which obviously nobody wants that, but it's. This, what do you say, how big the hole was? Yeah, he says-
Also, a Volkswagen.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Well, that's you guys have that authority, not him.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know.
Well, no,
it's
we are the ones that have the authority, but we're just saying that's there, but we don't want all the kids. Too much traffic uses that from Bremen to come up through and stuff, but we just gotta figure out how to get cars across without losing them.
Yep.
So that's all we wanted to bring to you, just so that give another month or two and maybe we can get back together and see what's happening.
Have you done any feelers about from engineering studies or anything like that?
We haven't done nothing. We just want to meet with you guys because we both own on both sides of it, so we've got to do it together.
I learned through doing the comp plan that if, when you team up with another town, it magnifies the clout you have when you apply for these grants. And we're in a perfect situation to do that. And obviously we blew a chance 15 years ago, whatever. You know, we don't want to see that. We want it fixed, but, you know, we'd like to have some help with it on the financial side with some of the federal money that we're paying in.
Were the plans done last time, John?
No, everything was set.
Okay.
For FEMA.
I'll ask Kyle about that too.
Yeah, we had the guy set up. He'll meet with
FEMA probably won't give us any money without having an engineer study anyways, will it?
well, if we have a storm,
Yeah.
and it floods over. they-
Well, it does that about every spring now.
Yeah,
So John, out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking.
Mhm.
We get a hurricane. And that goes, is that something you have capability of fixing?
Yeah.
Your crew?
yes,
Is this a job your crew could do?
yes,
Even if it was the concrete culvert?
yes.
We've got one we're looking at now that we're trying to
Yeah.
get our crew to do rather than engineer it out. There's another one on one of our roads, and same thing. He says, I can do it, he says, but it's not. It's not permitted and licensed and everything.
Wow, we still have.
You're dealing with two ponds on
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah, we still have to do all the
Yeah,
permits.
we
It's
still
just,
have to,
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, that's,
yeah, I don't know how big your crew is. Ours is pretty.
no, we don't have a crew.
Yeah.
No, but.
And he cut the weeds on the intersection of Bayview and it was very appreciated.
Yeah, no, they mowed,
They mowed.
they mowed
Yeah.
yesterday
Yeah, Gary.
and.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because. Walbro owes me for the fire department, so. Just saying, so.
Your choice.
Well, all towns have to look at what's their priorities, and if this is high enough on your priority to do, then maybe we can plan and move forward, and that's what we're looking for. To throw this out, do we form an agreement together? Is it a priority enough for you guys to make the commitment? And we'll follow in, but we're committed at this point in time right now. It's not a project that we could come up with a bunch of money to do this year.
I don't think we can do it.
Well, we're committed
But-
this year too, but I think,
It'll take that long to get it going anyway.
but I do think that something could be arranged. Max doesn't come free,
Yeah.
but but I mean, I think, he's been extremely successful. I mean, my recommendation would be at least to start looking for something. I mean, I know we work with an engineer, Pine Tree, who is
Yeah.
extremely reasonable and
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful to deal with. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt
Yeah.
with them, but they're out of Bath. They're wonderful.
Fairly reasonable.
So would there be a cost incurred for us to work, for us town to work with Max and you to do the preliminary stuff? So we're ready and
Yeah.
prepared when something comes up, if you choose to do the project.
I think it'd be like cost and kind. Wouldn't you think so? On the project.
I think that's a select board decision if they wanna,
I can quickly, I mean, I'm giving some grant ideas for right now. I can see if there's anything a bit more close by so that we can try and get the engineering study before the next culvert grant. But if I can't find anything, or we are waiting until it's the stream crossing.
How much time involved, if your time involved in doing something?
I mean, I'm going to my usual areas. It wouldn't be too much time.
and I also don't wanna get him in trouble with McCog.
Yeah,
Because
that's,
Noble, I don't think Nobleboro's a member of,
No, Nobleboro is not a member, but I mean,
Remember
just-
what?
so, yeah, I'll talk more about afterward that.
Okay.
I don't wanna bore everyone who's watching.
but,
No, that's fine.
but I do think that it's important that we do look at that.
Yeah.
I think you're the one to do the grant,
Yeah,
and we can also, do you have an emergency management coordinator?
Yes.
EMA guy? I'll have Kyle, our EMA guy, look to see what we might be available through FEMA right now.
No, we just wanted to touch base with you, some with neighboring towns.
A good contact for us is Robin, our treasurer. She's been doing most of this interaction between us. And she always keeps us informed.
She was aware of that 70.
Yeah.
That.
I talked with Robin quite a few times.
Yeah.
Bob's got something?
Yeah, I think it would be helpful to have an interlocal agreement between the two towns to sort all of these questions we're asking out at the moment. And to sort of memorialize how we wish to approach this, how we wish to split the cost. And once that's decided, where we apply for the grants and how we divvy up the work, or whether we do it or somebody else does it. But I do think we have to have an agreement in place between the two towns before we get further down the road on this.
Is that something you want, their treasurer, Robin, and myself to work on?
I'd make that motion. That-
Second.
We task you three with working up an agreement to memorialize this project.
But we got it moved and seconded. Any more discussion on having to do that?
Me, I believe it's me, Robin from Nobleboro, and Max.
Well, to work out the agreement.
And I'd include John in that, John
And
Daigle.
John, it's the four of us.
That
Yeah.
John.
That John Daigle, yes.
What's
Robin's last name?
No, I'm not right now.
I'll get Robin.
Was Robin's last name
Robin Clark.
Clark? Oh, Robin Clark, yeah.
You have all the information in here about the last time this project went through.
Oh, thanks for listening to us and see if we can work something out and let's. I mean, and because we had two towns neighboring each other, that anything we can do to help you guys, or you can help us, I think is important.
Well, I was in Damascotta today. I won't tell you where I was in Damascotta today. And someone approached me about that culvert. And I said, coincidentally, tonight, I have a meeting about that. culvert."
Yeah, no. Other questions you want for us?
We have a motion on the board. Chair.
Any more discussion on that motion? All in favor? Thank you, Evan.
Yes, I'm a yes.
Good.
Yep, so we're gonna work on that.
We know where.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can stay.
We have one every 2 weeks.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to citizens' comments. One from the citizens? Wow. Bill usually is. Select board comments. Bob, you have anything?
You're muted, Bob.
I'll bring it up now because I may have to leave the meeting early. I think we're going to talk about, well, maybe we're not, priorities. And I just wanted to put two things that aren't on that list on the list in case I have to leave. One is the comp plan. I think we need to start thinking about redoing that. I'm not sure what the timing is, but it's a process.
2028.
Yep. So, 3 years isn't a long time to put a committee together and do all that work. It's a lot of work. And the second thing is, our town manager is long past due a performance review, and we owe her one. And in deference to her, I think we need to do that sooner rather than later. So those are just my comments at the moment.
Yeah, we talked about that at the last meeting, doing it, second meeting in July. Didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We did.
Somebody's just gotta tell me what form you're using.
Abden,
I'm all set, thanks.
Mike,
As am I.
Okay.
you're good? I guess that leaves me. Last night I attended the forum, the downtown forum. For the first time you did it, I think Max, good job. It seemed to be pretty well attended. We had a lot of good input and questions and comments, from the folks that were attending. Certainly we're able to get the word out on some of the things that are in the works that happen down in town. I sat there in that room and I waited till the very end to talk because I don't like to speak, but but all day today, I was thinking about the village and how much has changed over the years. And believe it or not, I've been around this town for 59 years, and I can remember as a kid when there was 3 or 4 markets down there. There was the hardware store, there was the barber shop, which I did get haircuts, the library. And I was trying to think, did we have parking issues back then? I don't think so. But why is that? So then I started to think, well, how many of us have more than 1 or 2 vehicles in our ownership these days? Everyone has a vehicle now, and everyone has to travel separately instead of families going together, because there used to be 6 of us in a car. We go downtown and we go out and do the business. And so
God bless your mother.
I think we have more parking now than we did back then. And we seem to be okay with it, but I'm glad to see some activity going on down there. And I came through there tonight, there was still a lot of activity going on. That's all I have to say. On you.
On me? I just wanted to say, I thought that Max did a very nice job last night, and I thought with the 55 individuals, that were there in addition to Max and I, the Waldo was a very, nice place to hold the meeting. It was large enough to accommodate everybody. It was nice and cool. The acoustics are very good. And I just would like to say thank you for them allowing us to utilize the facility. And I think it was when we do hold forums, I think we'll have the live stream hopefully going on then, and it'll be easier to hear for people to participate. But I thought it went well. I'll just briefly give you some strengths that were brought up. One was Pine Street Landing in the Madomic River. Consistent town staff members. Some of our weaknesses that were pointed out, not enough parking for businesses, current and potential ones, signage to show all the parking in downtown, signage to encourage people to go downtown. Several cars that use on-street parking well past time limits, so time limits were discussed. Limited walkability, opportunities for bike racks, EV charging, for the parking lot. Somebody brought up, we should have an analysis of how many spaces are available and how many are needed. Concerns, there's no dedicated parking for employees and tenants of the Friendship Block. We did get a report that there's a lot of smoking and used cigarettes littering the streets. Also the need for sidewalks extensions. And some sidewalk extensions that have ended up being parked on by some residents. Speed tables, to me, I felt like people were in favor of the speed tables. They just want more speed tables than what we have planned. somebody suggested multicolored spaces to indicate that the different time limits. There was a discussion or a suggestion of a parking kiosk meter. Covered picnic tables at the Pine Street Landing. And a deck potentially in the back, which has been Max's dream down at the Friendship.
It was more Bill
Wow.
Mayflower's pitch.
Or, okay, Bill Napower. And also potential, how we could potentially with the town work to straighten out that property line. So there were some good things. Max, I just want to tell you, when you print, weird characters appear on your printings anymore. I don't know why.
Just something always
We have some
go wrong
characters
like that.
going on. But I just wanted to go over that. I just thought it was a nice night, and it reminded me of the community forums that we held prior to COVID, and it was just a really nice exchange of ideas. And sometimes those ideas were contradictory, as Michael pointed out, a couple of times. But overall, I thought it was a wonderful evening. The other issue that I wanted to bring to your attention, is that, so for people who may not know, the town water that people have downtown, that system is technically owned by the town of Waldeboro. It is operated by Maine Water. There was a uranium excursion that happened in June, and customers of our system will be getting a letter in the mail, may have already gotten it. I put it on our website, I posted it on Facebook today. And basically what happened is we had a uranium excursion, technically, I guess is what they're called, an exceedance. Once Maine Water had a test that exceeded the limit, they contacted Maine Drinking Water Program and worked with them as to what steps to take next. So they followed all those steps. They performed required maintenance on the filter system. They resampled the treated water for uranium to ensure that the levels were below 30 micrograms, thank you, per liter. They flushed the distribution system through the fire hydrants to remove water with higher levels, and communicated with Maine Drinking Water during and after the event. I did not get a lot of calls today. Maine Water had several calls, which is where it really should go, because they are, of course, the experts and the water operator. But I just wanted to make sure that people are aware of this, because what happens is they notify the consumers the customers who get the bill. But somebody who's a renter may not get that bill and may not know. So that's why we put it on Facebook, website. At no point in time was there an issue to not drink the water. And one misconception that one person actually that did comment said, well, I'm so glad I have well water because I don't have uranium in my well water. Well, we live in the state of Maine, and that's a common problem. So I think we also need to dispel the theory of people who have private wells don't have the potential to have uranium in them. And we did put up on our website some links to where if you're concerned about it in your private well, you can get it tested. So I just wanted to let everybody know that just because you have a private well, don't get it. And the other thing that I noticed is people seem to think that a radon test and a uranium test are the same, and they're not. So if you are concerned about there is uranium in your private well, we do have a link to several places to get it tested. And it's about $40 a test. That's all I have.
Hey, moving on to the consent calendar. A motion to approve,
So moved.
second,
I would just point out that I asked Pam to change my last name in 3-1. She has Athen and I both listed as Simmons. That is how we start rumors. My husband would disagree. Correct. Other than that, that looked great.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Good catch. Okay, moving on to new business, 10.2. Fireworks ordinance discussion. Who wants to take lead on that one?
I was asked to put it on the agenda. I'm sorry, by Abden, who has his hand up.
During, Waldeboro Day. And before that, I was asked a bunch of questions about how come we get rid of our ordinance for fireworks, and I told them that we had someone do a citizen's petition. And they got enough signatures to get it on the ballot. Now, what they didn't understand is a lot of people voted for it and they didn't understand the question. When we put it on the ballot, it has to be the way the petitioner wrote it. People thought they were voting to keep fireworks and they were not. They were voting to get rid of fireworks. And from what I understand, the individual that put the petition in has passed away, that was very upset about it. And I think a lot of people want them back after missing them for several years. And I just wanted to bring it back up, and I talked to our illustrious Bill Maxwell about it and got his opinion on it, and we should probably possibly go put it on the ballot to go back to the way it was pre citizens petition. And put it on the ballot and see if people want their fireworks back.
That would be the November ballot when you have a large turnout.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Making that a motion
Out.
to put it on the ballot?
What was the free fireworks ordinance?
That's what I was gonna bring up.
We must still have it on the
If
books.
you have, it's in.
It's in here, yeah. I'll speak to that. When fireworks became legal in the state of Maine, this became a conversation around the town. I don't even know what year it was, but, actually Waldeboro's fireworks ordinance at the time was more stringent and tighter than what the state allowed you to do with fireworks. For example, you have to have a permit. Resident has to go online or talk to fire department to get a permit to shoot fireworks off. Whereas a lot of these other towns, it's not even required. Also, they can't shoot fireworks in the historic district. A few other things, Bill, do you remember?
The historical district was the big one.
Yep.
And the permit, so the fire department and the police department knew where they were being shot off. Now, you also have to consider, somebody's gotta kind of enforce it. If they're here, and they see fireworks going off down around Abden's house, somebody ought to go down and talk to Abden, tell him, stop shooting off fireworks. So there is somebody's gotta take the initiative and do that.
That answer your question, Matt?
Yes.
Well, and there are other rules. There's consumer fireworks may not be used within fire danger class as
Right.
designated.
Yeah, there's,
You have to get a permit from the town officer, fire department for discharging fireworks. Only on property owned by the user. Not within 50 feet of public owned land. And it's the downtown business district, historic district, and the Route 1 commercial B district,
And I'll stop over time too.
right, and 5 to 10 PM. With the exceptions of Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and New Year's Eve, when consumer fireworks may be used 5 PM through 12:30 AM. Might want to relook at that one.
But I think that was the state law.
Yeah, the state.
Yeah, I finally got the payment from the bank that we sent, Brian said.
Well,
Any questions from the board?
Just a comment, if I may.
Yes.
I've had people talk to me about fireworks and they are dead set against them. And the reason for that is the terrible impact they have on animals, and particularly wild animals and domestic animals. These noises drive them insane. And what some towns and cities are doing, instead of using fireworks, they're using drones. And putting on some very effective displays that don't have the impact and the noise and create the terror that fireworks tend to create among animals who have no understanding of what's going on. So I hope this, in a way, I think, yeah, let's put it on the ballot. Let's have a conversation about it. I hope it gets defeated again, and I hope we perhaps look at other ways of celebrating those holidays that are not as invasive as the current practices have been. And that's all I have to say.
If it's something you're gonna wanna put on ballot, I need to know what the language that the select board would like to see. If it's just re-upping the prior one, or if you wanna modify it. Like if you wanted to include, for instance, if they have to come get a permit, do they have to notify neighbors, things like that? If you wanted to add any.
Well, I know the current fire chief was a fire chief when this ordinance was written. He spent a lot of time writing.
Oh, okay.
So
So this is the proposed new ordinance?
that's
That's
the
the
ordinance,
sum of it?
that's the ordinance we used to have until they were banned. Yes.
Right.
The one that has the Steve Cartwright, Rebecca Maxwell, Ted Wooster, and Craig Cooley as the select board members. One without color is the one they're suggesting, or someone is suggesting. Bill Maxwell,
Which was pre-citizens petition, correct?
which was pre-citizens.
Yes.
So basically, this is the version that
Right.
we want to put on the ballot.
That you may want to highlight.
Right.
The earlier we do this, the happier your clerk will be.
I was just gonna say, there'll be an August deadline for any questions for the ballot.
Motion on the floor,
Yep, I made it.
second, any second,
I don't know, some,
anyone
I
second?
don't think anybody seconded it.
No.
Can you repeat what you had as a motion?
to go back to, for the fireworks ordinance, to go back to pre citizens petition.
Put it on the
Is
ballot.
that
Put it on
is that
the,
the language you would put on the ballot?
yeah, yes. Well, I don't know what we'd put on the ballot, how you would have to word it.
We
To
would work,
reinstate the ordinance.
we would, I would think we could work on that when you guys approve the language for it. For the ballot. That'll give us time to craft it.
How it would be worded.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to just say pre. I think we should be clear that it would allow fireworks. I don't want people to come back and say, we didn't know what we were voting for.
Mhm.
So I think it needs to be very clear that if you vote yes, you're voting to allow fireworks.
Yeah, because I know the ballot has to be written a certain way, so.
Right, so the question, and we'll go over that.
Yep.
But it puts it back at it was a close vote.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
It was very close.
So are you withdrawing your motion until there's language? Is that what you're saying?
no, what I'm saying is
No.
they can vote to put it on, but then when we make up the warrant. We'll have to go over the wording for the question, the language.
Second,
I'll second the motion to put it on the ballot.
any more discussion? Not that it matters for this conversation, but kind of interesting to see. Talk with the fire chief to, when we had any issues, I can't recall any major issues, any issues from the previous. All in favor? All opposed?
I don't. have
10.3 speed reduction discussion on old Route 1 and the Goshen Road.
I received a request from Jess Severinsen. That we asked the state to reduce the speed from. Route 1. To where Old Route 1 and Goshen Road come together. Apparently people fly by there all the time.
Is it 45?
When they're coming off. When they're coming off of Route 1 onto Old Route 1, apparently that's just a freeway there. I emotionally prepared her to say that we had just requested the reduction from Route 1 down to basically the Historical Society, and we were told no. But I just thought I didn't need your approval to ask the state to look at that.
What's the current speed limit there?
I thought it was
35, I think.
That's what I thought. That's why I don't,
Can't go much lower than that.
you can't go much lower than that.
The
And
problem is
of course,
probably not.
Since we turned around and put that stop sign there, it stopped a lot of people speeding through there, so I find it odd.
No, they do.
Before, yeah.
Trust me, they do. When I was working on the house over there,
Yeah,
it was 45, 50 easily.
really.
Yeah, if you're, the problem is probably not the posted speed limit.
Right.
The problem is the speed that's
Speed
being
there.
acquired in that distance. I live right off of Route 1 and
Yeah.
before people hit my house, I guarantee you, many of them are going 45 or 50 and I'm 3 houses in from Route 1, so
I thought it was 35.
right down, so.
I'll make that motion to. do it.
We can at least ask.
Yeah.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
More discussion? All in favor? Bob, good? Yep. 10.4 Maine Municipal Association Legislative Policy Committee vote.
It's in his folder.
Oh, it's in your folder.
I'm sorry.
Green. Green, it's not easy being green.
Take my shirt.
Right there, you just, yeah.
So we have to pick 2, and obviously Bob is one of them. So you guys will have to discuss if you would like to support Bob.
Okay, we have a ballot here for District 13 for MMA Legislative Policy Committee. Vote for 2. We have Pam Dunning, Select Board Member of Wiscasset. Robert Butler, Select Board Member of Waldeboro. Donald Whitmer Keene, Select Board Member of Somerville. And Tor Glenn Denning, Select Board Member of Newcastle. We have a write-in. We do this by Select Board timer.
Well, you have to pick 2, so you
As a
guys would
group.
have to pick 2 out of that group. I don't know if Bob has any recommendations.
Bob, any recommendations, thoughts on the other members?
The only one I have any familiarity with is Tor Glendenning. And Julian knows him better than I do, I think, because he's serves in our neighboring town. So no, I don't really have any recommendations. I think that's up to you folks.
And I know Tor, he's an architect, he came in Newcastle. All I know about him.
I recognize the name Robert Butler, that's it. So,
How many do we have? to
for,
pick?
2.
2. It's always nice to pick a near town.
I recommend Bob Butler and Tor Glendenning.
I'll second it.
Discussion, thoughts? All in favor? Those be the 2.
You abstaining, Bob?
Yeah,
We'll pass this around after the signatures.
What's the second name? I couldn't hear you.
Tor
Tor
Glendenning.
You know, I forgot to add John's request. about
He decided
trailers
our
to the
house.
agenda.
I
Oh,
thought about that. I just thought about that. We jump. 10.5, municipal appointments.
I have before you the municipal appointments that are under my jurisdiction for the year July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. If you have any questions, please let me know, but I made those appointments effective July 1st.
Dan is still our deputy, huh?
Yeah, just in the event something happens, Stan's still our backup. He was in today just to say hello. As I've been told, a good CEO is hard to find.
You need a motion on that?
No,
No, we don't.
it's for informational purposes only.
I didn't think so, but I was just checking.
I'd like to add one, committee application, 10.6.
I'll let you do this, Bob.
Bob, you're muted.
I'm off now. I move acceptance of the slate as proposed.
Second.
Any other discussion? Which is one for the Origins Committee and one for the Sylvania Committee, correct?
Yes. We've had the opportunity to talk to both of them. Michael knows them. Abden and I have traded emails about them. I think we're lucky they've applied.
It's interesting, the number of people that are jumping on this committee. That's good.
Yeah.
All in favor? So move. I'm gonna add something here, the new business. Oh, I know we already did the adjustment, but we have to make an adjustment. We forgot one thing. 10.7, discussion of the new transfer station trailers. Yeah, Mr. John Daigle here to talk to us about that.
And John, I apologize. I do have to leave the meeting now. My apologies. I wish you all a good evening and we'll see you soon.
Hey, Bob, thanks.
Hey, Bob.
Thank you.
We now have the opportunity to buy 3 trailers from Bristol. 130,000, our trailers rotted. It cost me 120 to buy one. It'd be a year before I get it. Right now, Bristol's changed. They've gone to a smaller compactor. But the trailers are the same size that we use. So we'd have 3 extra trailers, which would work out great. The reason being, we have a trailer in there every other day. We can't work on it. The reason Bristol went with the extra trailer so they could work on the trailer off and on. It's proved out well for them. They have one that's 15 years old. It's real good shape. Feels a lot better now, but like I said, for all 3 of them, 135,000.
All 3 for 135?
Yes.
How old are they?
One's 2 years old.
Wow.
The other one's 4 years old, and the one before that's 19 years old. And they're all inspected. No road work.
How many do we own right now? 3? No, 2.
2.
2.
The other issue is that the last time we bid this, which was in 2020,
Yeah.
it was 110
110.
What?
for one. So now we have to realize that we haven't rebid them.
Right.
But when I did a little research, even if we were to go through the co-op to purchase it.
Yeah.
That price for the trailer type he's looking at was anywhere from 137 to 142. And a live floor now.
Yeah.
Okay, a walking floor.
walking floor.
Is that what they're called or a live floor?
Walking.
Walking, okay, a walking floor now.
Yeah.
Is up to 182 to 195.
That's surprising.
It doesn't, okay, because it surprised me that it went up that quick.
And what a lot of places gone, walking floors, but it wouldn't be effective for us, because we have winter time, they were free.
Right.
Would be any good for us.
Do we have the money in the budget in the transfer station budget?
We
for-
have the
for this?
money, we actually do have, because when we bid this out in 2020, we didn't have enough money. So we've accumulated funds, there is
Capital.
enough funds in the transfer station capital.
Mhm.
To buy it, so that's why it would only require your approval,
Yeah.
and it's a town to town.
Right.
Purchase.
You like a motion?
I think he would
Yeah.
love a motion.
I would make that motion that we purchase the 3 transfer station trailers from Bristol. For 135?
135.
135,000.
I'll second it.
One more discussion. When can you take delivery?
Probably tomorrow.
I just want to point out that, again, this is another example of our department heads thinking outside the box, communicating with other places and getting us the best deal possible. And I'm very happy with that. He was giddy when he walked in my office.
Yes. On the two that we have now, as far as the maintenance goes, what do you think our lifespan is to keep those?
Our lifespan on ours been running 10 years. And the reason being is we can't clean them. I mean, they're in there every other day.
Right.
Bristol did it the right way. They had 3 trailers that were there. They could turn around, take one out of it, clean it, fix it the way it's supposed to be. You know, had the time to do it. I think our trailers, if we start out with these 3, I think from this point on, it will last us a lot longer.
I guess my question is, what are we gonna do with these our two now?
The one we've got, they won't take a sticker. That one
Parts.
there's gonna be turned into junk. It won't take a sticker.
You're gonna get rid of it?
Yeah. It's bad. The other ones we use for storage.
You know where I was going with that.
I did. I did.
Plus.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, all in favor of that motion? Bob's not here, so we got 4. What else?
Thank you.
Old business, reviewing priority list.
I just wanted to make sure I had sent out the priority list with my manager's report. I just wanted to make sure that I had captured everything that we went over in the meeting. Obviously, Bob sent me an email. He asked about the comp plan to be included on that. I think I had taken it off the old priorities list because we had completed it, but I'll put it back on since there's another one coming in 2028.
Any other old business we need to discuss? Agenda for the next meeting. We need to talk about the town managers. Counseling.
My counseling, I need it. So typically, just so, because you're new to this process and the public, there might be public here, is every year, long about this time, the select board has Peg Tynan, our finance director, give me a evaluation form. And I fill it out myself because I conduct a self-evaluation. And then the select board completes the same evaluation, and then we have a meeting and I, get evaluated. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And, that's how it goes. And we have normally a very frank conversation about strengths, weaknesses, how to improve, what their expectations are. And to be honest, sometimes that changes with makeup of the select board. So it's always a fun time.
I don't like to call weaknesses. Area of improvement.
Areas of improvement.
So that's one thing. I'd also like to put on the agenda to talk about the shared service agreement for Cushing, Friendship and Waldeboro for solid waste facilities. We're gonna start scheduling a meeting, right?
We need to have one of our yearly meetings for the management committee. I think John has some things he wants to talk about with the management committee, and that's typically the select board of Friendship, Cushing, and Waldeboro.
Yeah.
That's something you guys are going to have to talk about because in the past, the select chair has always appointed Bob as their designee, but you are a new person. You may want to attend a meeting or two, or all of them, or so decide, you guys as a group need to decide that, or technically it's really your decision based on that. And we just need to start having some conversations. And one would be, does the management committee even want to pursue, what do you want, what do you find are your priorities?
Right.
Do you want to task the transfer station with committee with exploring more recycling options? What, you know, they are doing those things, but that committee is really a advisory committee to the transfer station committee. So we just have to have some discussions. Talk about budgets
So at the
and
next meeting, I want to discuss with the board members. Setting a date for this meeting, because this is gonna be a meeting we have to schedule with the other towns too, right?
correct. Typically what I do is I send them, everybody out 3 dates. And we figure out a meeting. Everybody comes here typically. We make them travel. Not saying it's fair, but we do. And I know that both Cushing and Friendship have already picked their new representatives.
So we'll put that on the schedule for next, we'll just confirm that.
Okay.
Confirm that date, those dates.
But I know update on repairs to the building compactor and the trailer purchase would be discussed, budget, where we have been and where we are going. So those are just a couple of the items we'll be discussing.
As the strength, the committee.
As the transfer-
Management. committee.
Management
Not
committee.
not this.
Not
board.
this committee.
No, not this board, right. Any other items for the next meeting?
Consumer fireworks ordinance language. Should be looked at if we want.
That'll be for the warrant.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Just if anything wants to be changed,
Could we have the fire chief come in?
what's being
for that?
put forth.
I was actually just going to suggest that.
Anything else, folks?
Motion.
Yeah, like a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Say that.
You have to say.
You have to say the number in the.
Yeah, the number.
In the
Executive
motion.
session, MRSA 4056C, Economic Development. Executive session.
I'll second it.